Folks, from my den to the studio. Folks, this is Bob from BBD, Bobby Broadcast Delhi, with some news and Hatke views. Well, if things were not clear, they couldn't be clearer than the headline by Sutirtho Patronibus in Hindustan Times. Not shown in Times of India, of course, but then expect Times of India to catch up later. China takes 1959 line on perception of LAC. Experts say Beijing's position, which India has rejected in the past, suggests the standoff is unlikely to be resolved soon. What did I say, folks? I'm not sure talks have gone anywhere. The good part is, this time the talks have worked, in my view, against China. We've not scared off as they thought that India would run away like all the other people that they seem to encounter. They've gotten caught in an alley cat fight. I'm not sure this time, like in 62, they're going to come out better off than India. I absolutely do not. And the reason I say it is not because of the multitudes and millions of dollars or billions of dollars of an economy or the billions of dollars of Indian analysts who keep saying they're way ahead of us. It's because that soldier in China has not become as good as his equipment. He's not stronger, he's not braver, in fact, he's become inferior in terms of his sustainability than what was available in 1962 and in the Vietnam War. Let us not ever forget that. Let's see what's happening next. South China Sea. China holds drills amid new tensions. Beijing said those were intended as a warning to the self-governing island that China claims as its own territory. Folks, 3 exercises in the South China Sea. The question that immediately needs to be answered, is it Taiwan or is it India? One of us is definitely in the crosshair for immediate action. Watch this space. While that's happening, you have US restricts chip maker in China citing risks. So basically, the largest manufacturer of chips, Chinese manufacturer, has now been curtailed. Its stock dropped almost 20%. Now what's happening in the Middle East? Important. Syrian minister calls Turkey main terror sponsor. Turkey is going down the chute, Pakistan along with it. I don't know what this Erdogan is doing. He's as much as a criminal as Imran Khan or she with what he's doing. With all, he thinks he's God. This is some kind of he also needs to be now controlled. But what is important here is the next one. Middle East is in all kinds of trouble. US tells Iraq it plans to pull out of the embassy in Baghdad. We need to keep watching this space. Then you have US opens talks on moving air base to punish Erdogan. Not only air bases out of there, also the F-35 supply lines. Those F-35s apparently now Greece wants, UAE wants. In fact, India should all now, having changed its acquisition processes, then maybe they should lease these F-35s. Then you have Pompeo pledges for US support to ease Greece-Turkey dispute. I don't think it's going anywhere. As I said, here's another article that says no more retro tax. India must accept the Vodafone arbitration verdict and start afresh. Absolutely. But what Sanjay Barua writes is something that I must tell you all, folks. The assault on Bollywood. It's a national asset. Destroying its credibility for partisan political purposes harms national interest. He says attacking Bollywood as an institution in pursuit of a political party's partisan and ideological agenda, as is now happening, does not serve the national purpose. It is now becoming increasingly obvious that Hindu extremists with the so-called Sangh Parivar have targeted Bollywood for a variety of reasons. There is view that Bollywood has come to be dominated by Muslims and Urdu. A campaign is afoot to Hinduize and Hindyize it. There's also view that the lifestyle of a cinema celebrities has encouraged young people to mimic an alien culture from dress, drugs, forgetting the semi-nakedness and smoking weed are very desi attributes. Indian cinema is national institution and a national asset. It is an aspect of Indian soft power in destroying its credibility by hurting the standing and credibility of individuals who make the institution tick will harm national interests. Sad part, longevity gap. While Nepal and Bangladesh were behind us, now they are way ahead of us. Look at what's happening in the Caribbean. Caribbean takeaway. China's debt diplomacy gaining leverage, smaller nations. Beijing billions, woo Commonwealth nations. And it is amazing, folks. This is the place we really, I know it's a real far Caribbean, but we need to get there, hold on to it. It's a historical link, cultural link. More after the break.
Welcome to the new trend of 2020. These music glass covers are incredibly stylish and customizable. You can pick any song and cover image, and we will curate a piece especially for you. They help make any empty space look beautiful and also make for amazing gift items for your friends and family. Visit our Instagram page to find out more and to order your own music glass covers now. Instagram page is at Music Glass Covers, as you can see at the end of this video. We look forward to hearing from you installing your favorite song in time and in a frame.
Welcome back. As I showed you yesterday, this is what China has tried to play with us, called the Ouija, the stones. What was read earlier, now what I see is Maldives is decidedly in the green side. If we don't manage it well, it can move away again, and China will continue to finger it. Sri Lanka is blue, they're still not over the hump yet. They still think that they have something that they can hold a gun to our head. Myanmar has moved blue and has a good chance of going green. Bangladesh continues to stay blue. You got to stay hard and fast at this and make sure that it stays blue or even goes into the green color. Bhutan is your other green that you have here. Nepal is decidedly red, though in turbulence, and Pakistan, of course, is totally red. India's is not an ordinary neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. And it cannot be, it's not a Mexico or a Canada, what Canada is and Mexico is to the United States. Why is that so? This is what Raja Mohan writes. Tending to the neighborhood, the anxiety that India is losing clout in the subcontinent is not new. India's relationship with its neighbors will always be about carefully managing the inevitable difficulties that arise. Why does he say that? One is the partition of the subcontinent. The problems generated by the great division of the subcontinent on religion line continue to animate the region. No amount of virtue signaling in the name of good neighborhood policy can help fix the challenge of setting boundaries, sharing river waters, protecting the rights of minorities, and easing the flow of goods and people. The burden of the subcontinent history is not easy to discard. Remember that. So all our policies have to remember that. Second, the arrival of China at the Indo-Tibetan frontier during 1950-51, the unification of China amidst partition of India and had profoundly transformed the geopolitical conditions of India beyond the bilateral territorial dispute in the Himalayas. The emergence of a large and purposeful state on India's frontier was going to be a problem given the ease with which it could constrain Delhi within the subcontinent. If it was the Raj that advanced northward across Himalayas before 1950, it would be China's turn now for a relentless southward ingress into the subcontinent. Remember that, folks. Then it says insurance is tied to a fifth factor, the role of the domestic politics in India's regional policy. Here is an important question that Delhi's foreign policy debate avoids. Can India persistently champion Tamil minorities' rights in Sri Lanka without incurring any cost with the Sinhala majority? Similarly, can it keep castigating its going after Indian minorities and still expect countries like Maldives, Bangladesh and Pakistan to play ball? There are no easy answers. Absolutely no easy answers. But while we are doing this, guys, worry in Nepal is of the greater Nepalization. Greater Nepal, which includes parts of Sikkim, which includes parts of Himachal, includes as far as ahead as Dehradun is what people in Nepal are talking about, right? However, India seems to be getting in the game. Hands off. We cannot be hands off any longer. It says students join protests against China's encroachment in Nepal. Students in the Nepalese capital Kathmandu on Monday launched protests against the Chinese encroachment into the country's territory. Massive protest march was held in the front of the Chinese embassy in Kathmandu, political sources said. This is the second such public protest against the Chinese encroachment into the Humla area of Nepal. Protests against China are growing in numbers across various world capitals over atrocities in Hong Kong, Xinjiang and Tibet. The activists and protesters carried posters, "Return Nepal's land." Why I said that Sri Lanka is still in a fix, it says only lip service. Sri Lanka's unresolved Tamil question continues to stand in the way of more meaningful Delhi-Colombo ties. Showed up starkly what it says is it is as both sides now know that they must pay lip service to Sri Lanka's yet unresolved Tamil question, while being aware that it's a charade, that it's going anywhere. Colombo knows its proximity to Beijing rattles Delhi. And this is what we've got to send the message, that it does not rattle Delhi. Sri Lanka is not that important anymore. You have Maldives on your side. Remember that, folks. It is absolutely critical to remember that. Joint statements mentions offer no guarantee that the situation on the ground in Sri Lanka will change, either for Tamils or for the projects. The Rajpaksa, who speak the language of militaristic Sinhalese nationalism, are here to stay for the foreseeable future. Despite strong cultural links, the challenges in the relationship with Sri Lanka are a test case for Delhi's neighborhood first policy. Go by what we are saying. Folks, this is not going to be easy. Play it with real politics. Sri Lanka does not deserve any extra care. Handle with care. Handle with care, make a strategic decision. It's Maldives, it's Bangladesh, it's Myanmar, it's Bhutan. This is what you have on your side. Play with what you have in your hands. It's a lot more currently than China does in Nepal and in Sri Lanka. Let's see who's talking India's language. Imran Khan quoted in Khalid's time, hasty Afghan pullout will be unwise. Now Khan is suggesting that a hasty American pullout. Amazing. And guess whose words he's using? Khan further said that only an Afghan-owned and Afghan-led reconciliation process which recognizes Afghanistan's political realities and diversities could produce lasting peace. That's laughable. He's actually quoting us because he's lost the plot in West Asia. He just doesn't have it. Just like Khalid Ahmed said, clueless in West Asia. He says, after nearly 70 years of building a case in the favor of conflict, the Middle East may be moving towards peace, and Pakistan absolutely does not want to do. And here is what we have. The other thing we need to show, there's an article by TCA Raghavan, Pakistan Army's role in politics angers public. And remember, the PPP and Nawaz Sharif's party, nobody has lost their cadre, unlike the Congress. They're still there and still there, ready for a fight. And fight is what they should give. It's important. Here's what I said. We've got to, if you hammer China, you will help democracy in Pakistan. Take my word for it. You have an article here. What's in it for Pakistan? Absolutely nothing. For China, Pakistan is strategically important as a low-cost, sustainable option to contain India and also US expansion in that region. But what is Pakistan getting in return? Absolutely none. Then you have another article that says Pakistan must read the writing on the wall. Pakistan's obsession with Kashmir is costing its dearly. Its relationship with Saudi Arabia fraying over its insistence that Saudi Arabia-led Organization of Islamic Cooperation call a high-level meeting to discuss India's abrogation of them. Not happen. They're in deep trouble. Then you have an article that says India remains a top draw for Gulf investors. This is something should be shoved down Pakistan's throat. Why are the same people not going there? And what also should be told to Pakistan, what I read here? Read here. China raised thousands of mosques, report says. Then you have another one. She vows to press policy on Muslims. I don't understand how a mercantilist nation can get along with a theocracy. It's like oil and water. They have to split at some point of time, ladies and folks. Let's wait and see. Let's light the fire under Pakistan. But for that, again, as I said, it's important to be at peace domestically as far as communal politics are concerned. Jai Hind.